I think the Georgia is the game.
Really?
But yeah, I do.
I would say, to me, LSU's the easiest target there.
Yeah, I mean whatever, because they're the yeah. But
I just don't think they're at the same level that the other two teams are at.
For sure. No, that's for sure. But I think Georgia is vulnerable, and we have a former running back there that left our team for greener pastures, and I just don't think it's that green over there. and we'll see this weekend, man. That's all I have to say. We'll see. But again, it's just one of the three. I'm not saying Georgia is the game.
But with this level of optimism, are you like Billy Napier's our guy? We got to roll with him till the wheels fall off.
No. I'm firm in that it just depends. It depends on if the players, if DJ is saying, if Billy goes, I go, then we keep Billy. I said this on another podcast that we were on, so I want to make sure I say it on our podcast, and you disagreed here, but I'm going to double down on it. I think the Florida Gators will beat one of these remaining Titans on their schedule. All right, they got Georgia this week. Georgia's number 2 in the nation. And then the next week following, they have Texas. Texas is number 6. And then after Texas, they have LSU at 15, who's ranked 15. So I do think Florida is going to defeat one of those 3 Titans there, man. And I couldn't tell you which one. This week, they're about 17-point underdogs. I think that's ridiculous. I threw a ton of money on that. And we'll just go from there, man. I can't wait to see this game. Unfortunately, we have a game at 4.
Yes, we do.
So I'll be on my phone for the most part while you have me on the bench, and I'll be watching it. So yeah, but yeah, I can't wait because I think the Georgia is the game.
Really?
But yeah, I do.
I would say, to me, LSU's the easiest target there.
Yeah, I mean whatever, because they're the yeah. But
I just don't think they're at the same level that the other two teams are at.
For sure. No, that's for sure. But I think Georgia is vulnerable, and we have a former running back there that left our team for greener pastures, and I just don't think it's that green over there. and we'll see this weekend, man. That's all I have to say. We'll see. But again, it's just one of the 3. I'm not saying Georgia is the game.
But with this level of optimism, are you like Billy Napier's our guy? We got to roll with him till the wheels fall off.
No. I'm firm in that it just depends. It depends on if the players, If DJ is saying, if Billy goes, I go, then we keep Billy, and it's really not.
Did you ever see Hoosiers?
Yeah. Sure. It's a classic. Yeah. That was sort of the deal there.
Coach stays, I play. Coach goes, I go.
And it's not as much to say if Billy goes, I go, like I'm attached to Billy.
Yeah.
But a lot of players just leave when there's a coaching change. That's just normal.
Because you don't know where things are going to shake out for you individually.
And that's what I mean by that.
Well, but I would say this: if he does what you think he's going to do and win one of these next 3 games, I think he's secure in the job.
Well, you have to beat Florida State as well, and you can say whatever. That's whatever.
No,
but you even if you beat one of these 3 and then you lose against Florida State, I mean he's out. So I mean,
if he beats Georgia, he could lose the rest of the year and he stays.
Nah. Hell no.
That's what I'm saying.
0% chance. You can't lose against Florida State this year. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
And that's not a fan speaking. That's just literally you've lost to Florida State every year you've been here. That's your biggest rival. You can't. That just doesn't happen in college sports.
I think a Georgia win would save him regardless. But I don't think he's going to beat Georgia though.
Yeah, it's a tall task. I'm just saying one of the 3. I'm not saying he's going to beat Georgia either.
No, I think that LSU game could be won. They stayed right in with Tennessee, had a chance to win that game, didn't quite get it done. I think LSU is probably below a level of Tennessee overall, but I do think Georgia and Texas are a level above. Things would have to go, perfectly to win one of those 2 games.
Yeah,
in my
Georgia or
estimation.
Texas.
Yeah, Georgia or Texas. What? But as a Gator fan, like, do you, do the players sound like they're locked in with Napier?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they do. But and to his credit, the one thing he has done is created a phenomenal culture there. And it took him a couple of years, weed out a bunch of players, like Travis over there at Georgia and things like that. Like we went through a pretty deep overhaul, and players that were just not buying in, and now he has that culture there, and all of the players are buying in. They always sing his praises and things of that nature. So they are bought into that system and culture that he has created, for better or for worse. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to think. I mean, like, I tend to think he's probably gonna stay. I think he'll find a way to win, probably 2 out of these games, and then that should be enough.
Yeah.
Again, if there's a good vibe in the locker room and a belief that they're on an upswing, and again, you're looking at bringing back a quarterback potentially for another 2 years that has some real high level talent. You're going to attract some receivers and some other players. So, again, I think he'll probably do enough, but if you're not a Billy Napier believer, that's not good news.
No, unless, like I said, the only thing he's missing is the offensive coordinator. And again, I know we talked about this about, whatever. And he's been approached with that for 2 years in a row now. This is the 3rd year. And he's always rejected that idea. So I understand that he could reject it again. But that just has to be something that is forced upon him by the AD. And that is if he wins every single game here from now on out. So,
if he wins them all, they ain't forcing anything on him at all. I mean, if he runs the table the rest of the year, his shit doesn't stink and he does what he wants. He could go into the president's office and take a dump on his desk.
What, with no playoffs? You could do that without making the playoffs?
I just beat Georgia, Texas, LSU, and my big rival. I'm shitting on your desk, and you're going to eat it.
You're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay. I want to just stay in college football real quick.
Yeah.
I think like obviously Florida State's been terrible, and I think Norvell has kind of lost something in this process, and the guy that is most intriguing to me in college football right now is Curt Cignetti, the Indiana coach.
Yeah.
And his famous presser was I win, Google me. I think that part of the high level winning is this absurd confidence that you have to have. And that's what kind of was when you go take a dump at the president's office. It's like, I think you have to have that, because the reality is you're going to get attacked in the media no matter what. Even if you're a winning team at a high level, people are going to bitch you're not winning by as much as you should. Like if you're one of the elite teams, it's going to happen. But you have to have that borderline irrational, delusional confidence that we're here to win football games and that's our job. And that you're going to will your group to do that. And, Cignetti's a great example of that right now. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the year. But I definitely think you need that. When you look at the best guys, they just kind of walk around with a confidence that's just kind of through the roof.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. And a lot of teams, a lot of schools are going to throw a lot of money at him. The top tier, schools that are going to look for coaching changes. Yeah. Again, I'm not sure Florida State is going to be one of those teams. I don't think so. But who knows if a guy like that becomes available, and then a lot of money tied up into the extension. There's
a lot of financial considerations. But if you look at it as, we either winning or losing, do it.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
You said one thing. Before we move on here, you said one thing this past weekend about, the only true way to turn a team around kind of is a coaching change in college. I mean, especially after you already went through a rebuild. I think.
That was what I was going at is the situation that Mike Norvell is in is that he came to a bad team and over a 4-year period of time built it to an undefeated team, and now the bottom has fallen out. And I'm at a loss to think of another coach who, built a successful team, had it bottom out, and rebuilt it at the same place.
Yeah.
I just don't see a precedent of that happening. And I think it's going to be extremely difficult to do. And I think that kind of inspires the notion that at the end of the day, Florida State may be better off taking a financial hit of getting rid of him and the whole staff and bringing something new in. Because again, there's a festering infection in this program. It's terrible. It's inexplicably terrible. You're 1-7 on the field. You're in the bottom 10% of damn near every football metric on both sides of the ball. Like, you are genuinely one of the worst teams on the fucking planet right now by every possible measure. How do you rebuild from that?
Yeah.
Like, with the same people? Like, where does the confidence come that you can figure this out? That where can you sell? What can you sell to people, transfers, whatever? You can't sell I win. Google me. You can send I just presided over one of the bottom 10 teams in the entire fucking country.
Yes, but a year and a half ago.
What have you done for me lately? You know?
Yeah.
It's a real question.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to ask. And if you're looking at being a part of a solution at Florida State football, like it might be finding the money to get rid of him and starting and bringing in Kurt Signetti or somebody else to rejuvenate this and give it a chance. The collapse has been, the collapse itself has been virtually unprecedented.
Yeah.
From 13-0 to 1-7 and this bad. And you watch week after week. They literally look pathetic.